Hello everyone, how are you? I'm Amanda Santos from the channel Amanda Santos BR. If you're new here, welcome. I'm a Brazilian living in the Canary Islands, and on my channel I share a bit of my travels, cultural curiosities, and experiences living abroad. In today's video, I'm going to show you my trip to a super charming coastal city in Lithuania. After leaving the Curonian Spit by ferry, I arrived in Klaipėda, a city full of history, beautiful architecture, and a very special energy. Perfect for anyone who loves exploring unique culture-rich places. As soon as I arrived, I have to confess, I was starving. So the first thing I did was look for a restaurant near my hotel. I ended up ordering a meat dish with vegetables that was simply delicious. But the most interesting part was discovering a new drink that I absolutely loved, apple compote. It's a traditional local drink made by cooking the fruit and then serving it chilled. Super refreshing and naturally sweet. Honestly, I fell in love with it. Another wonderful surprise in Klaipėda was the number of sculptures scattered throughout the city. Guys, it's stunning. It feels like every corner has a different piece of art, with unique styles and so much personality. It's like walking through an open-air museum. As I walked toward the Klaipėda Sculpture Park, I became even more enchanted by everything around me. The wide streets, the buildings with different architectural styles, and all the trees and flowers make the walk so pleasant and full of life. It's the kind of place that makes you want to stroll slowly, just enjoying the atmosphere and discovering every little corner. When I finally arrived at the sculpture park, I was completely amazed. What a wonderful place. It's truly an open-air museum filled with art, history, and nature. The park was created in 1977 on the site of the city's former central cemetery, which had existed since the early 19th century. Over time, the area was transformed and given new life as a sculpture park. And the most beautiful thing is that they managed to preserve part of the site's memory, keeping some old tombstones and monuments that honor important historical figures and participants of the Klaipėda Revolt of 1923. Today, the park houses over 100 modern sculptures, created by Lithuanian artists between 1977 and 1991. Each work has its own style: abstract, surrealist, minimalist, and they're all spread throughout beautiful trails filled with trees and flowers. It's the kind of place where you walk slowly, taking in every detail, always finding something new at every turn. The park was also recently renovated, so everything is very well maintained. New paths, benches, lighting, and even QR codes to learn more about the artworks. The whole atmosphere is peaceful and relaxing, the perfect place to spend hours surrounded by nature and creativity. For me, visiting the sculpture park was one of the best surprises in Klaipėda. It's a place that blends art, history, and serenity, and I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to experience the true soul of this special city. One fascinating fact about the Klaipėda Sculpture Park is that it was built exactly where the city's old central cemetery once stood, used since the early 1800s. At that time, many prominent families, German merchants, sailors, teachers, artists, and philanthropists were buried there, since the city was part of East Prussia and had a strong German influence. Over the years, and with historical changes, especially after World War II, the cemetery was abandoned and partially destroyed. During the Soviet period, the tombstones were removed and the area was transformed into a public park. Even with such a transformation, the site still preserves a sense of respect for its past. Some original gravestones remain, along with monuments honoring former residents and war victims. It's impressive how this space was reborn, from a silent cemetery to a vibrant park full of life and art, without losing its historical essence. Inside the sculpture park, there's a charming little church that really caught my attention, the All-Russian Saints Orthodox Church. It was originally a Protestant chapel built between 1938 and 1939 in a neo-Gothic style, with beautiful brick details and an elegant pointed tower. After World War II in 1947, it was transformed into a Russian Orthodox church, and the tower gained a rounded dome, typical of Orthodox architecture. That's how it got its unique and enchanting appearance. What's most fascinating is that this church is located right inside the old cemetery, the same site where the park now stands. So while walking among sculptures and trees, I suddenly came across this beautiful church, surrounded by history and spirituality. It was also the first Orthodox church I've ever visited, and honestly, it was an emotional experience. Inside, it's absolutely stunning. Hand-painted icons, golden details, and soft lighting that creates an atmosphere of peace and reverence. I was amazed by the richness of the decorations. Everything seemed to shine, radiating deep spirituality. It was a moment I'll never forget, a completely new and beautiful experience for me. Beyond the Orthodox Church, Klaipėda is truly a mosaic of religious traditions. The city is home to a variety of churches that reflect its multicultural history and the peaceful coexistence of different communities. One of the most impressive is the Church of St. Casimir, a remarkable example of Baroque architecture, known for its ornate facade and serene interior, a testament to the deep faith of the local Catholic community. Another gem, as I mentioned earlier, is the All-Russian Saints Orthodox Church, with its golden icons and meticulously detailed interior, a place that left me deeply moved. Klaipėda also once had the Church of St. James, a Lutheran church built in 1687 that served the city's Lutheran community until it was demolished in 1959 during the Soviet era. Although it no longer stands, its memory remains alive in the collective history of the city. The religious diversity of Klaipėda reflects its rich and complex past. Each church, with its unique architecture and traditions, contributes to the city's multifaceted character. It's fascinating how, even after centuries of change, spirituality continues to play such a central role in the lives of Klaipėda's people. The city of Klaipėda is undoubtedly one of the most fascinating and historic places in Lithuania. Located at the mouth of the Danė River, on the shores of the Baltic Sea, it is the country's main seaport and also one of its oldest cities, with origins dating back to the 8th century. Founded in 1252 by the Teutonic Knights, a German military order, Klaipėda was originally called Memel, a name it kept for centuries. From the very beginning, it held a strategic position, both militarily and commercially, serving as a vital connection point between Northern and Central Europe. Because of its location and economic importance, Klaipėda has undergone many changes of rule throughout history. It has been part of East Prussia, the German Empire, and was occupied by various forces during times of war. This mix of Germanic, Baltic, and Scandinavian influences left visible marks on the city. In its architecture, its local traditions, and even in the way people live day to day. Walking through Klaipėda truly feels like stepping through the pages of a living history book. One of the most defining events in its history was the Klaipėda Revolt of 1923, when local Lithuanian groups, supported by the government, took control of the city, which at that time was under the mandate of the League of Nations, officially incorporating it into Lithuania. This event is considered a moment of national pride, as it symbolized the unification of Lithuanian territory and the strengthening of the country's identity. During World War II, Klaipėda was heavily affected. It was occupied by Nazi Germany, and then in 1945, it became part of the Soviet Union, undergoing major urban and demographic transformations. The German population was almost entirely expelled, and new Lithuanian and Russian families settled there. Only in 1990, with Lithuania's independence, did Klaipėda begin to flourish again as a free and forward-looking city. Today, Klaipėda is a modern, vibrant, and lively city. It's the economic heart of Lithuania's coast, with a crucial port for the nation's trade, yet it still maintains the charm of a small town. With flower-filled squares, sculptures scattered around every corner, and a beautiful historic center. Its wide, well-kept streets, colorful German-style buildings, and proximity to the sea create a peaceful, welcoming atmosphere, perfect for walking, taking photos, and simply enjoying the moment. Klaipėda is also known as an important cultural hub. Every year, it hosts festivals dedicated to music, theater, and sculpture, including the traditional Baltic Sea Festival, which celebrates the city's deep connection to the sea and its maritime heritage. It's a city that breathes art, history, and modernity, all at once. Being here means feeling this beautiful blend of times and cultures, the past that left deep marks, and the present that pulses in every detail. Klaipėda is the kind of place that surprises you not only with its beauty, but also with its soul. A city that has learned to reinvent itself through the centuries, and today stands as one of the strongest symbols of Lithuanian identity. In the late afternoon, I decided to take a break and relax at a super charming spot, a restaurant located inside a boat anchored on the Danė River, right in the heart of Klaipėda. I ordered just a dessert, a delicious ice cream, and sat there enjoying the view of the city reflected on the water as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. It was a simple yet magical moment, the perfect way to end the day in style. Even though I arrived in Palanga for only a few hours and already at night, I could immediately sense a completely different side of Lithuanian life. The city has a lively and cheerful nightlife, especially along the main Seaside Avenue, which feels like the beating heart of the town. That's where everything happens. I couldn't help but feel like I was back in a beach town in northeastern Brazil, with loud music coming from bars, people dancing, laughing, and just enjoying the moment. For me, who had found Lithuanians to be more reserved, it was such a happy surprise to see this relaxed and contagious energy. As a Brazilian who loves vibrant, festive places, I was absolutely delighted by Palanga's joyful atmosphere. Even at night, the city's natural and urban beauty stood out. The reflections of the lights on the sea, the illuminated gardens, and the pleasant seaside breeze gave the walk a special touch. It was a brief moment, but full of joy, showing me another, more colorful and lively side of Lithuania. It's a memory I'll always cherish as one of the most fun and unique experiences of my trip. One thing that really caught my attention in Palanga was seeing people selling boiled corn on the street, just like at the beaches in Brazil. I found it so funny and heartwarming to see such a familiar little detail so far from home. It's one of those small surprises that make a trip even more special. Those moments when you suddenly feel connected to your country, even on another continent. Later that night, I looked for something light to eat and ordered a chicken salad with passion fruit juice, and wow, it was delicious. Every bite and sip perfectly matched the calm and charming nighttime vibe of Palanga. It was the perfect way to end my day. Small cultural discoveries, new and tasty flavors, and that wonderful feeling of truly living each travel moment with intensity and joy. Palanga is the kind of place that radiates peace and happiness. Everything feels calmer, brighter, and full of life. Ending the day there, after so many discoveries in Klaipėda, was simply wonderful. The perfect closing to a day full of beautiful experiences and unforgettable moments. If you enjoyed this little journey through Klaipėda and Palanga, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Here on my channel, you'll find videos in Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Russian, and English, so there's content for everyone. See you in the next adventure. Bye-bye.